Dart School presents division. In this video, we are going to learn a couple of cool mental division techniques. Let's start with the break apart technique. That's based on the distributive property of division. In this method, you can divide the dividend into as many number of pieces as you want to and divide each one of those pieces with the divisor and combine the results in the end. And you could actually try this out on some simple numbers. For example, let's say you want to divide 45 with 5. Just as an example, you know this answer is going to be 9, right? 5 times 9 is 45. Imagine breaking 45 up into two pieces. Let's say 35 plus 10. Divide each one of them with the divisor, which is 5. 35 divided by 5 is 7, plus 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 7 plus 2 is 9. So that works. And that's pretty handy in fact. Imagine doing 64 divided with 4. Now you know your tables of 4, but you know it all the way up to, let's say, 4 times 10 or 4 times 12. So what do? You break this up into, let's say, 40 plus 24 and divide each one of them with 4. You know the answers. 40 divided by 4 is 10 plus 24 divided by 4 is 6. So this answer is 16. And you could actually extend this idea to do more difficult problems mentally. Imagine you want to do 176 divided with 8. And you already know that since 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 20 is 160. Take advantage of this knowledge and break apart 176 into 160 plus 16. And divide each one of them with 8. So 160 divided by 8 of course is 20, as you figured out over here, and 16 divided by 8 is 2. So the answer is going to be 20 plus 2, which is 22. Similarly, if you want to do, let's say, 203 divided by 7, and you know that 7 times 3 is 21, and therefore 7 times 30 is 210. So the trick is to figure out that 203 is close to 210, which is a neat multiple of 7. So break up 203 into 210 minus 7 this time. Divide each one of them with 7. So 210 divided by 7 is 30. 30, and then there's a minus, not a plus. 7 divided by 7 is 1. So this answer is 30 minus 1, which is 29. 203 divided by 7 is 29. Easily done. And you could actually extend this method to do more difficult problems. Imagine you want to do 696 divided with 3. Break apart 696 into 600 plus 90 plus 6. If this were a 684 instead, you could do 600 plus 90 minus 6. Divide each one of these with 3. And they're all easy divisions. Can be done mentally. 600 divided by 3 is the same as 6 divided by 3, that's 2, with 2 zeros in the end, that's 200, plus 90 divided by 3 is 9 divided by 3, that's 3, with 1 0 in the end, plus 6 divided by 3 is 2. Like I said, if this were 684, you would have a minus 6 here, and then you would subtract the 2. Eventually, for this one, the answer is 232. Pretty handy, right? Let me show you another method of mental division that's based on factoring or factorizing the divisor. Imagine you want to divide 174 with 6, and you want to do that mentally. You could break apart the divisor this time into 3 times 2 and then divide 174 with 3 and divide that answer with 2 or the other way around. So 174 divided with 3 is 180 because 3 times 60 is 180 minus 6 divided with 3 180 divided by 3 is 60 minus 6 divided by 3 is 2. So 174 divided by 3 is 60 minus 2, that is 58. So coming back to the problem, the division with 3 is done. Now divide this result with 2. So you could divide 58 into 2 pieces, 60 minus 2, and divide each one of them with 2. Because 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 30 is 60, so this part is 30, minus 2 divided by 2 is 1, so this answer is 29. So 58 divided by 2 is 29. And that's the final answer to this division, 174 divided by 6. And if you're still wondering why this should work, recall that a division can always be written down as a fraction. So you could write 174 over 6, and then this is equal to 174 over 3 times 2. So essentially you're simplifying this part first, dividing this with 3 and this with 3 to get a 58 on the top, and the 2 stays on the bottom. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and then simplifying this by dividing this with 2 and this with 2. So effectively it's dividing the numerator, which is the dividend, with first 3 and then that answer with 2. You could have also done first 2 and then the answer with 3. You would still get the same answer, 29. But then you could have said, okay fine, but I could have just divided 174 with 6 using the distributive property of the break apart method. So I could have just said, okay, this is 180 minus 6, and then divided each one of these numbers with 6 and subtracted the two answers. 180 divided by 6 is 30 because 18 divided by 6 is 3 with a 0 in the end, minus 6 divided by 6 is 1, and that's 29. And that actually seems an easier approach as far as this problem is concerned. But if you think about problems with larger divisors, then the method of factoring really helps. Take for example 288 divided with 24, and let's just break this down. 288 divided by 6 divided by 4. After all, 24 is nothing but 6 times 4. Now that you know that 6 times 5 is 30 and therefore 6 times 50 is 300, break this apart into 300 minus 12 and divide each one of them with 6, and that's a piece of cake now. 30 divided by 6 is 5, therefore this is going to be 50 minus 12 divided by 6 is 2, and therefore the answer to this division problem, 288 divided by 6, is 48. So now you're going to divide 48 with 4, and you know the answer, that's 12. 4 times 12 is 48. So here you go, the answer to this division problem is 12. And probably now you know how useful this factoring method is.